from Cleveland's most accurate weather team. This is 19 First Alert Plus, sponsored by the man that makes them pay, Tim Misney.
All right, happy Thanksgiving to one and all. Chris Fry in the 19 News Digital Studios. Hopefully everyone had a great day, a great and safe holiday thus far. But things may be begin to start getting treacherous for some of our viewers in the eastern counties, as we do have a 19 First Alert weather day that will begin shortly. Let's bring in meteorologist Erica Page here with the latest. Erica, good evening to you. I see an active screen behind you, and that's where we're going to start right now, because the 19 First Alert team you've been telling us about this storm system that is coming in, that has changed from rain to snow, and now it is here.
Yep, this is the lake effect already getting started across parts of our area. Now, keep in mind, when we're talking about these 19 First Alert weather days, it doesn't necessarily mean every single county in our viewing area is included in this. This is highly specified to our primary snow belt. So when you look at this camera at I-90 and State Route 86, certainly you can tell there's a lot of snow that's coming down at a pretty decent clip. Obviously, that's going to reduce some of the visibility, but as I've seen some cars passing by on 90, you can tell that you're getting a little bit of the blowing and drifting snow just as those cars are passing by. So that's kind of a little bit of a sign of, I think, what's to come for us as we head through the rest of the overnight tonight, and certainly for the next couple of days, because the problem is that we don't see this west wind turn enough to really cut off this lake effect feed for basically the rest of this week, headed into the weekend through early this next week, which is why we have alert days going through Tuesday. I know it seems like a lot, but there is a good reason for that, because within that zone, somebody's going to get dumped on when it comes to snowfall totals. So let's walk you through kind of the alerts that we have in place right now. Certainly when you look at Northeast Ohio, it's really just centered across our primary snow belt. We have those lake effect snow warnings for Lake Geauga as well as Ashtabula counties. And this specifically is for snow that could accumulate upwards of 6, possibly even 18 inches. Does that mean everybody in those counties is going to see that much snow? Not necessarily. It really just depends on where those squalls basically set up. But wherever they do, they're going to be very efficient in producing that snowfall up to 1 to 2 inch per hour rates, which snowplows will likely have a tough time keeping up with. So road conditions are going to be pretty difficult and maybe even impossible across parts of I-90. So keep that in mind. If you are traveling east of Cleveland and say you're taking 90, please make sure you're giving yourself a lot of extra time. For Cuyahoga County, we're under the winter weather advisory until 10 o'clock Saturday morning. This is basically for mainly our eastern zones. I don't necessarily think we're going to have the high snowfall totals for our western communities. It's just not really how this is probably going to play out for us. But again, it is in effect, so we will certainly watch to see wherever those bands continue to move. I think this graphic paints a really good picture. Basically, when you're talking about how much snow we could see, and really I think this is probably more so going to be over the next several days versus just tonight into tomorrow. But you can see where that bullseye is painted. Parts of Lake County, very northern part of Geauga County, northern Ashtabula County, basically following right along that I-90 corridor. So keep that in mind as you're getting around to any other holiday plans that you may have. Looks like they just issued a special weather statement, likely for some of this snow that's been moving through. Let me actually see what it says just to get you all the latest information as we have it.
And Erica, we'll go back full to this I-90 cam while you're doing that. This is at I-90 State Route 86 right now. You can see the snow is subsiding a little bit. Just a few moments ago, it was so heavy we couldn't even see what was going on out there. But now you can see it is subsiding. Cars still on the road. It looks like the snow is still kind of piling up on the roadway. So if you have to get out tonight, just be extra careful, especially in these counties that Erica is mentioning. Erica, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically what they're saying is that visibility is dropping to less than 3/4 of a mile. So that's to be expected when you get these heavier bursts of snows. And they're saying right now at least up to 1 inch of quick snow accumulation possible. Sometimes it's these first little bursts of snow that can always seem to be the most dangerous for us, because it sometimes seems to catch us off guard. It seems like when we're talking about these smaller snow events, but you can see really where this line is really starting to come together. Basically paints all of Lake County, northern part of Geauga County, and I have a feeling that west wind is just going to keep feeding this moisture in across the same area. So do anticipate more less than desirable road conditions for us headed into tomorrow. Again, if you are traveling east of Cleveland on 90, expect it to be slow throughout the day. You're talking that 1 to 2 inch per hour snowfall rates. That part doesn't change. Real quick look at your future view, and then we'll start talking about your 7-day forecast. You can see that this snow continues to come together through the overnight. We do have a little bit of snow inland. This is down across the Mansfield area right now. That will continue to sweep by to the south. So places like Akron, Canton, you could see a few flurries still this evening. That's not out of the question. It's just not going to be where the focus is of our snow headed into the early hours of your Friday. So you'll see that more persistent band still in place by early tomorrow morning. Doesn't really change a whole lot through midday. Yeah, you may see it break up a little bit from time to time. So I'm not saying it's completely snowing from this time you wake up to the time you go to bed tomorrow, but you can see that the general trend does keep a lot more of that snow around, and it just doesn't look like that wind changes direction fast enough for us to really see any big improvements, which is why we are anticipating as much snow as we are in that part of our viewing area.
All right, Erica, stand by 15 seconds. We'll have a word from our sponsor.
I've represented families just like yours for over 4 decades. Listen, if you need me, call me. You know I'll be there for you, and I'll make them pay. In the meantime, I'll keep an eye out for you.
All right, Erica, we've got the 7-day forecast with the double weekend.
Yeah, and I would say if you're looking at this forecast and you didn't know what the calendar date said, you would probably assume we were sometime in January, maybe even early February with where these temperatures are sitting. That's just how unseasonably cool it's basically going to be for us for the next couple of days. Keep in mind, if you're not seeing snow, the chill in the air is going to be pretty brutal for us for this time of the year. Low to mid 30s, even upper 20s for daytime highs. That's easily going to push wind chill values, teens to lower 20s. So if you're spending any time outside next several days, just because you have the wind out there, make sure you're bundling up. Overnights look the coldest tomorrow night, headed into early Saturday. That's where I think we'll have a few more teens, potentially a few more teens inland late Saturday night, headed into early Sunday. And then we slowly start to see some improvements late this next week. But I'm just not seeing good data that says we completely cut off any chance of snow every single day, even as we look ahead towards that double weekend. So it does look like a pretty active start to the month of December for Northeast Ohio.
And Erica, this snow that's falling right now, we talk about the disparities and the impacts. We're talking about the easternmost counties, Lake, Ashtabula County. How about folks in Medina and southern Cuyahoga County? What will they see over the next few days?
Yeah, you know, I think with the nature of lake effect, because winds are such an important factor in how they steer a lot of these bands over the next couple of days, you'll see them wobble a little bit. It's not to say that folks in Lorain County, Medina County, even northern Summit County couldn't see some snowflakes, couldn't even see some accumulation possible. The likelihood that you see anything overly impactful, pretty low on our scale. So that's why the focus is on our primary snow belt, just because I think that really is where we're going to see some of the worst of the snowfall as we go through the next several days. But again, everybody could see some flurries from time to time. It's just you're not going to see several inches of snow by the time the holiday weekend is done. So keep that in mind. Where you travel across Northeast Ohio, conditions will vary greatly just because we have that wonderful lake to our north and it does produce that wonderful lake effect snow this time of the year.
Well, we've got our Michelle Nix. She is in the 19 storm snow tracker in Lake County. She'll have much more coming up at the top of the hour on 19 News at 10 o'clock. But you can see behind you right now, we'll take one more look, Erica. That snow is really coming down. It is coming down at a heavy clip.
Yeah, that's a pretty healthy band. And I'd say if you have to drive through Lake County tonight, just plan on giving yourself a lot of extra time to get where you need to be.
All right. 19 First Alert meteorologist Erica Page giving us an update on this winter weather advisory, and it is beginning now on 19 First Alert Weather Day as well. Erica, we'll talk to you coming up at 10 o'clock, as good. Well as yours truly. We'll begin our evening newscast for this Thanksgiving Thursday. 19 News at 10 o'clock on CW 43, and then switch over to 19 for the news at 11. I'm Chris Fry in the 19 News Digital Studios. We'll see you in about 20 minutes.
19 News, now streaming on Samsung Smart TV. Search for channel 1035.